I'm excited because I get to bring you 3 top tips, tricks and hacks that are going to help you out in your game in understanding how to get the most out of the free version of Keepa. Stay tuned, I'll show you this now. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon pretty much now for about 4 years, and I'm on a mission right now to do £1 million over the next 18 months. I'll drop a link up there. So have a look at that. It's going to share with you how I'm doing it, what I'm doing, and step by step. But quite simply today, I'm going to be talking about Keepa, all about the free version of Keepa and not so much about the basics. This is the advanced stuff in how to maximize the free version of Keepa, my top tips, tricks, and hacks to get the most out of it. Okay, what am I going to go through today? Well, quite simply, number one, I'm going to show you a trick that is going to allow you to understand sales velocity within a product. So we're going to go through that, how to figure it out. Number two, I'm going to show you how some tricks that you can see or look for to find out if Amazon is sharing the buy box. And then number three, I'm going to try and give you or show you a way that you can figure out, estimate what the buy box price has been historically for those products. So 3 top tricks, tips and hacks there that are going to really help you out. Let's get into it now. Right, before I start, 2 things I just want to say. Number one, I'm using the free version of Keepa, and maybe if you have not watched any of my videos, maybe you've not watched anything about Keepa before, make sure you watch the introduction to Keepa, the free version. I'll drop a link up there. That is just going to talk you through everything that you need to know before you get into this. So don't jump into this video if you have not already watched that. That's going to help you out. Number two, while the free version of Keepa is great, it is not as good as the paid for version, and I would strongly, seriously recommend paying for Keepa. It's one of those tools which are amazing. So watch this, try it, but do buy it. It's a great product. What am I going through now? So quite simply, one of the big questions we always ask is you might have like a calculator tool, or even if you're using the Amazon revenue calculator, you can work out your profits, you can work out your margin or your ROI, but what you can't understand is how well, if at all, the product you want to buy is selling. Now, you generally use a calculator tool or even Keepa to understand this. And how do we understand that? We use something called the sales rank. Now, sales rank is the position, i.e. rank order of this product within the category. Now, if you have, let's say, for example, toys and games, sales rank number 1, it means that that product is the number 1 best-selling product in the toys and games category. So you can probably guess the number 1 best-selling product sells one hell of a lot of product. But if it's sales rank 1 million, then you might go, how many is that selling? So 1, easy to understand. Everything else, a little bit more difficult. Now, there are charts, things you can use, and they're great, but the sales rank data you can get from Amazon, i.e. by looking on the page, and I'll quickly show you now. If we scroll down this page, will show up here. This is number 204 in toys and games. That's great, but you don't know what it's been in the past. Now, if we've understood that maybe in the past it's always been a good seller, but today it's not, then we might want to buy it because it could be a good product. Or it could be that today it's a good seller and in the past it never has been, and there might be some reason for that we'd understand. Understanding what's happened in the past, Keepa does that brilliantly, gives you a very good understanding of what's going to happen in the future. And if you can understand what that sales rank number has been in the past, you could have a good estimation of what it might be in the future. And as a result, you'll know if it's going to be a good buy, a bad buy, and you're probably going to be able to guess how many you should be buying as a good starting point. On the paid for version of Keepa, we can see the sales rank information quite simply, and I'll show you where that is on this graph. Quite simply, this is the Keepa graph, and if I try to turn on the sales rank data, it's going to go, you need to pay for the premium version. Damn, that is the one bit of information I want. Why? Because I know profit and ROI, I can use that, but I don't know how many sales it's making. So quite simply, this is going to be really important to know. Now, this hack here is about how to see the sales rank line without actually paying for it. So let's get into it now. Quite simply, you want to come over to here, go to settings, and what you want to do is just move down a little bit, and it says here, show price history graph as overlay when hovering on Amazon products. Turn it to yes. Now, I've tested this. When you do it yes, it doesn't show up. What you need to do is you also need to go to setup, and what I've done is turned off sales rank, refresh it and then turn it back on again, and then click save. You can change the range, it's not a problem. Now, quite simply, what does this do? Well, it won't turn on this line here. You can't do that, it's not gonna happen. But what it can do is it can allow that whenever you are searching for a product, let's say for example, if it's this product here, what you can do is you can hover over it in the overview, the category view, and it will show you a little mini graph, and I'll show you now. Let me just refresh. So we'll refresh the page, wait for it to load. And if you can see just down there in the bottom, what's happened, we've now got a graph loaded up, and I can also see the green line movement. Now, what I'll do is I'll take a snapshot of that, and we'll talk about that in a second. So this is that green line. This is the chart we're looking at. Now, quite simply, what are we looking at in this graph? Well, quite simply, we are looking at this green line. If I kind of just highlight here, the green line, this one going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, please excuse my rather large fountain pen, but that isn't the line we're looking at. Quite simply, what is that? That is that number. And if you say right here, this point, this number, follow it across to the right axis, would have been 3,000, 300,070, for example, 370,000. Now that on here, that isn't actually this product, it's another product, but that relates to the number down here, best selling, the best sellers rank. There's 204 on this product, but for this product we're looking at here, it is 370. Now quite simply, what you're looking at is if you're going to average out, i.e. back to school, draw a line of best fit, you're going to draw it through here and get a feel for what that number is versus this right-hand axis. Obviously, the closer it is to 1, the better it's selling. The worse it is to 1, the worse it's selling. And what you're really looking at is that trend. Is it getting faster or is it going away? If it's getting faster, it means it's selling more and more. But if you're not seeing much movement or it's really far away from 1, obviously it's probably not going to sell as much. Quite simply, what can you do as well? Well, let's say, for example, if we're going to say during, just for this product, and again, this is a slightly different product, during October, December, I'm going to say, let's average it out, 50,000. 50,000, I'm going to say, I can come over to the Jungle Scout free estimator. I can literally go onto that and I can say, this is in toys and games. The sales rank is 50,000. And I'm going to choose, I'm in the UK right now. And then I'm going to come down to toys and games. And that is going to give me an estimation of how many this product has sold. And this is going to say 60 over that period. Looking at this graph, it's going to say actually 60 per month over the last 3 months as an average. But I can see probably in November, it actually sold a lot more than 60 because it was closer to 1 than after. So quite simply, what I can do is by using this little graph, I get a feel for how well it's selling. Now the question you might be asking is like, Tom, that's all very well and good, but I want to know how well this product is selling. So, well, quite simply, again, you can just come in, search for the name of the product, not exactly in the search bar, get it up, and when you're ready, you can hover over the actual product. Voila, you can see down here in the bottom right, this is the product we're looking at before. You can see that graph that we had before, but now it's got the green line, the sales rank on that graph. That's just going to let you know how well it's selling and what's going on, maybe when Amazon's in stock and when Amazon's not. That is really going to help you. That is a top trick, top hack that's going to help you understand what's working in the free Keepa version. Number 2, top tip number 2. One of the questions we always get asked is quite simply, if I'm competing against Amazon, how do I know if they're sharing? Well, quite simply, most sellers probably won't be selling against Amazon. They're quite against it. But if you are maybe thinking about the profit is really, really, really good, how can I tell if Amazon are going to let me share? Well, we're going to go through now a couple of things that you can look for on the Keepa graph on the free version that are going to give you an idea that maybe Amazon are actually sharing and you might want to test it. So let's have a look now on this graph and I'll show you what to look for to see if Amazon is sharing the buy box. So quite simply, we're coming back to this example, the one I just used, and what I want to do is just kind of scroll down, and again, it's the free version, I'm not logged in. So quite simply, what I'm looking to do is, I'm looking for times when Amazon is on the buy box. Now I'm just going to turn off some things. We've got like warehouse deals, used deals, turn that off. We don't want it at all. So quite simply, what am I actually looking for? I'm going to be looking at times in particular when Amazon's been on the buy box. So I can see there are kind of 3 areas, 1, 2, 3, actually 4 and 5. Now, of these 5 areas, I can see that Amazon's been on the buy box with another FBA seller here, and it's happened here as well. Now, the one thing which I'm really looking at is, has there been a time where there's an FBA seller underneath Amazon's price? And what I can see here is there's this little new party third FBM here. So I'm just going to zoom into this price here. So what I can see is that there's been an FBA seller up here. They've generally been around the 39.96. They've also, well, actually they've been under Amazon's price here, but then Amazon's come down. They stepped down as well. So the FBA has gone down. But interesting enough, when it's Amazon's been the lowest, I can see here, you've got Amazon at £30 and you've got an FBA seller at $29.35. Now, what does that tell me? Number one is that Amazon is not going down to meet that FBA seller at $29.35, because if they were, they would be at the same price. They would be $29.35, but they're not, they're still $30. But also as well, I can see that that price, i.e. the $29.35, didn't last forever. So what can I infer? What can I understand? Well, quite simply, if I zoom in on here, and I'm going to just zoom into this section right here, what am I looking for? Well, quite simply, we've got $29.39, and we can have a look. We can click on NX Text. Just come off, close that one. We can click on and actually see who the seller is. This guy is Keepa. So we can see there, and they were $29.35. And then what we want to do is who's the next cheapest on the FBA? NX Tech. Now, what's been really interesting is it was NX Tech. I'm guessing here, NX Tech. It was NX Tech, they're the cheapest FBA, and then they're back to cheapest FBA there. But interesting enough, this person here, they weren't NX Tech, they were slightly lower. And what do we know? That they were obviously in stock, they were at that price, and they were selling it at that price, but they were no longer the cheapest price again here after this guy. Which you say, it was one seller, the price changed to another seller, and then it went back to the previous seller. Now, what does this tell me? Well, quite simply, I don't know for sure, I don't know 100%, but what can I infer? Well, perhaps, maybe this person came on the listing, their price wasn't significantly lower, it was just lower, they got the buy box, they sold their stock out, and then it went back to the previous seller. So the question I'm going to kind of ask myself is two things. Number one, why is NX Tech constantly sitting just below Amazon, i.e. at this price? And then number two is this person has been $39.35. They came on to the listing and then they disappeared again. I can't see them. It could be that they changed their price, of course, but quite simply, I'm just asking the question. NX Tech aren't stupid. They're a big seller, 5,400. They are selling this product. I think they're getting sales because Amazon's not meeting them. Maybe they're not getting a lot of the buy box, but they're getting some of the buy box. But in particular, just because of this guy here has actually dropped down below, his price has been lower than NX Tech, and then he's disappeared. I think that buy is probably sold as well. And what can I see? Amazon's on the listing at that time, and I can guess they're probably sharing, and they're probably sharing at about $29.35. Now that might not be profitable for you, but at least you know at what price they might share it at, because the competition are kind of showing it, whereby the FBA price is showing you what they're making sales at. Top tip there, that is helping you understand if Amazon is sharing the buy box and at what price, all on the free version. I love these things, great. Staring at Keepa graphs, always exciting. So I just want to take a moment to stop and talk about FastTrackFBA, and in particular, the FastTrackFBA lead service. If you're just starting out in Amazon, maybe you've just started out doing arbitrage in the US or in the UK, have a look at FastTrackFBA leads. Quite simply, this is a service which I run with my team. We've got a team of VAs sourcing 7 days a week, that's 7 days including the weekends, and they are looking for deals across all the best stores. What do? We collect all those deals in and we put them on our web application that you can go in and look at all the deals. We don't send you a certain amount of deals per day. When you're ready, when you want to buy, you come in and you buy the deals that you want. Really simply, you choose the ones you want, you look at sales rank, buy box price now, buy box over 90 days. You can work it out with your own unique costs. You can look at all the Keepa charts. We show you all the information about every single deal that we find. If you buy a deal and there's a problem, out of stock, maybe it doesn't, it's a store that you can't buy from for whatever reason, you can get a refund on that deal. Quite simply, very, very quick, very, very efficient. And what you do is you buy tokens from us and you exchange them for deals. and you don't have to use the tokens straight away. They will last up for 3 months after your purchase date. So have a look at FastTrackFBA leads. I'll drop a link down below. It's a great service. We're getting really positive feedback, and we're always improving it. So check that out. But hey, let's get back to Keepa. Okay, so the third and final top tip that I want to share with you is probably one that you want to know. Now, quite simply, this is trying to understand the buy box. Now, if you know anything about Amazon, selling on Amazon, the cheapest price doesn't necessarily mean the price that makes all the sales. It's the price on the buy box. And that's the price that you want to know. Now, quite simply, Keepa stores this information. It shows it to you on the paid version, and this is probably one of the main reasons why I'd say you want to get the paid for version. Why? Because the new price, the blue line that you look at, that is the new price, which is the lowest price, doesn't necessarily mean that's the price that you want to use. And again, if you understand that, buy box price over time is going to really help you out. Now, quite simply, we cannot show you what the buy box price is. We can't get that information up, but what we can do is look at certain bits of information and try and infer, understand what the buy box price might be by looking at other metrics. This isn't going to be 100% accurate. We're using it as a guide. So let's go through now, have a look at the computer, have a look at the Keepa chart, and see what we can kind of understand about the buy box price. So quite simply, I'm now back on this product, obviously same product we've used before. Now, quite simply, if I come through, what I'm going to do is just go back to all time. Now, if I actually zoom into a year, and what I'm interested in is kind of understanding what's going on with the product. So a couple of things that I've got turned on: Amazon price, new price, FBM price, and FBA price. Now, quite simply, by using my knowledge of Amazon, what I'm generally going to assume is that whenever Amazon is on the listing, they pretty much own the buy box. They control it. Why? Because if you know anything about Amazon or the buy box and the way it works, is that if your metrics are good, i.e. front of your seller feedback, your back of house metrics are good, and you're doing FBA shipment, then generally speaking, the biggest factor in determining the buy box is price, and the majority of the time, Amazon's going to be the cheapest, so they'll win the buy box. So what am I going to assume? Now, if I kind of zoom into this graph, and what I'm actually going to do is draw on it to make it a little bit easier to understand. So let's draw right now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my pink graph, my pink line, and this is going to be the buy box. So I'm going to assume at this time, this is going to be the buy box price. Wherever Amazon, I'm going to draw that buy box price. Now, quite simply, let's get that in. So there we go, we can learn that. But I'm missing some big gaps. I'm missing a gap here, here, and here. There are 3 areas that I probably want to know what it's selling for. Well, quite simply, what can I do? I can have a look at the other pricing to see. Now, what I do see is we've got, if I kind of draw it now in green highlights pen, we've got this new price here, we've got this new price, and we've got another new price here. Now, it might be that that is the buy box price, or it might not be, because we understand that not always the new price is the actual price of the buy box. So what can I infer, what can I understand by looking at the product? Well, quite simply, what I'm also going to look at is not only the new price, I'm going to be looking at the FBA price. Why? Because the FBA price, generally speaking, is usually the buy box price when Amazon is on the product. But the other thing I'm also going to look at is what's going on with the FBA price. If I see the FBA price saying static, then that might not be right because it's not selling. But if I'm seeing movement in the FBA price, and in particular, if I'm seeing the sellers changing in the FBA price, then also that product's selling. So if I undo this, quite simply, if we have a look here, we say, look, this new price here, you can see that, that's the new price. But what I can see, if I change the color, I can see this is pretty much the FBA price. And if I go along here, the FBA price is pretty much that. And again, the FBA price is really weird, is that. But remember, the new price is this. This is down here. Now, the one thing I can definitely see is if I kind of try and draw it in, is in this area here, we can definitely see that buy box price, or the FBA price, is the same as the new price. So pretty much that, I'm pretty happy to say that is going to be the buy box price at that time. But I can also see this strange area in the middle, whereby the FBA price is not the same. Now, what can I see? If I kind of zoom out, I can see that this FBA price is pretty straight, but it does look like it's got some movement in it. So if I come back to the graph and we just zoom in on that section, what am I going to see? And I'm just going to hover across. That price is moving 36.50, 36.50. It's pretty much static there. We've got a little bit of movement, 39, 36, 39, 36.49, then back up to 36.50. What am I looking for? I'm going to be just having a quick look who the sellers are. Toys for Fun, Brick Village, and can I have a look here? Toys for Fun, Brick Village, and if you kind of just go over here, Hamleys and Toys for Fun. So interesting enough, Brick Village was on there, but then no longer on it. So I'm going to say that's probably going to be around the price that this has been selling for there. Why? Because we're seeing this little movement, penny movement. What does that? What is it? It's quite simply where automatic reprices are changing the price to fight for sales velocity. What's going on? So I can say, what I can guess is that the price around here is going to be around 36.56. That is going to be sell price during this period. And then when we come back right here, I can see that that's probably come down, and that buy box price has actually come down to here and then maybe gone back up again until Amazon's come back on. So if I had to draw a mental map of what the buy box price has been on this product over time, obviously we already know the Amazon product, but I'm going to guess that I don't think it's going to go up here. It's too high, really, really too high. I'd actually say it's probably going to be more likely down here. And then we got straight down to Amazon. If I came back along again, I'd probably say this FBM price is right. Why? Because the FBA price is way too high versus the FBM. So I'm not going to choose that one. I'm going to choose the FBA price or FBM price. Then I'm going to come up. I'm going to look and say, actually, I can see here, this is pretty much where it is. And then I'm going to draw it, go up. And then it's going to come down to Amazon. When Amazon's off the listing again, I'm going to go across. That is what I think the buy box is going to be, because I'm looking at the FBM price, the FBA price, and the Amazon price. And I'm going to try and guess where would that price sit based on those three factors. Number one, generally FBA can be a little bit more expensive than FBM, but not massively. Now, if they are massively, i.e. here, then you're probably going to go with the FBM price. But if they're about the same, i.e. around here, you're just going to go with the FBA price. And again, if they're about the same, i.e. around here, the blue FBM price and the FBA price, then quite simply, you're probably going to go with the FBA price. So that is how I draw the line in my head to get a good feeling of what that graph is. And that's going to allow me to understand, number one, what is the price from Amazon's listing? Also, number two, what's the average price when Amazon is not on the listing? And I can make my buying and selling decisions off that data. Right, that is it. That is all of the top tips that I can share with you for Keepa in the free version. Now, what I will say is Keepa is amazing, and even the free version gives you so much information. But what I will say for you is maybe there's something that you know that I haven't even touched upon. Drop it down below in the comments. Obviously, I'm really interested to learn about that. Give me a thumbs up because, hey, obviously I like it when I share this information. A thumbs up just lets me know that you like it. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. But what I will say is I will drop a link around here to a Keepa video that I've done for the paid for version. And again, I'd recommend that. But that is part of a series of videos that I've made for the Keepa that I think you're really going to love. But for me, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.